account.
Yes, it's doing it again. It's not letting us go live on X. Oh, there we go. Finally. Welcome back, everybody, to another rendition of I don't fucking know what we're doing. We're two idiots today. We're four idiots. Oh my god. I think X is down.
It says the broadcast is not available.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. You're about to view a stream on X. Sure, let's do it.
Charlie, shut the door. I want to fucking lose it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're live on YouTube, but for whatever reason, X went live and then it's an issue on X's end. I don't know. What do you want to do?
He said YouTube's working. All right, we'll just stay on YouTube. All right, let's just do it on YouTube. Hold on. Let me tweet it out that we're staying on YouTube. Link not working.
Everyone's just staring at us right now. It's like, what are these idiots doing?
Live on YouTube.
Hopefully it goes live. I mean, the link's there, but welcome back, everybody. We haven't had a show since October 12th. Joey's red hot. I am not. I am where he was 4 weeks ago. Looking to, right the ship today. Say hello to the family. There's most of them. Baby boy's sleeping. But yeah, just the two of us today. So we got the two idiots. We're going to keep this show short, light, hopefully fun and entertaining, and giving out some winners. But yeah, I don't know where our other two men are. Joey, any idea? I mean,
Duke's
Chase
probably
at least told us he just can't, but I don't know where Duke is. I mean, he might be taking a dump.
There's no call, no shows, typical for someone that doesn't have a job. But yeah, I mean, that's all right. The boys are here. We're here to give out some winners. I've slowly but surely turned around my college football season. I'm still down I think I'm still down like 5.5 units, but ready to just keep this moving. Started off the week with an early winner last night with Cal getting it done with like a minute 10-second left, touchdown to cover the 7. So that was nice. Always nice to start off the week with a winner. I do have a pretty big card today. I do have 3 plays locked and loaded, with 2 more I will probably be adding later this afternoon. So 5 plays for me on a Saturday is a pretty big day. I do have we have some of your stuff to go over. Do have 2 plays from Chase to talk about, including a best bet where he aligns with my best bet. So I guess let's start with that. Let's start with my best bet and Chase's best bet for the day. Since it is in the 12 o'clock early window. This game is in Chestnut Hill in Boston. BC -2 hosting the Syracuse Orangemen. Me and Chase align. We are both on BC here. I played BC -2 for 3 units. It is my largest play on the card today. BC's looked really bad, man, the last couple weeks. Like, there's no denying it. I was shooting the shit with a couple buddies about this game, and they were like, hey, like, BC's look bad. They're, 3 straight losses, which I believe they lost at Virginia, who I think is a very good football team. They lost at Virginia Tech, where I was on Virginia Tech in that game 2 Thursdays ago. And then they lost last week at home to ranked Louisville. So I fully expect BC to bounce back here in this spot. This is a team that plays significantly better at home. They are 3-1 overall at home. I expect that to move to 4-1 after today. A lot of talk about Castellanos here. I mean, dual threat quarterback. His percentages aren't great throwing the ball, but his numbers look pretty good. 17 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions, I believe. Dual threat, dude runs the ball really well. This is a Syracuse defense who I am not very high on. I think BC picks them apart today in like the most beautiful get right spot at home ever, with Syracuse coming off that overtime win last weekend where they struggled with Virginia Tech's backup quarterback. They had no right winning that game. Syracuse defense gave up 455 yards last weekend to a Virginia Tech offense that is nowhere near as good as this BC team. BC, basically a three-headed monster in the backfield when you talk about Castellanos being able to run the ball. Robo Shaw, who hasn't really been great the last couple of weeks, but he splits carries with Ward, who is also another dynamic back. I expect BC to roll here, and it is no coincidence that they are my best bet at noon. I think they win this game by a touchdown. So BC -2, 3 units, official best bet for Cheese on this Saturday. Yeah. Kmart, any opinion here?
No opinion at all. But I know our boy Chase is on him too. It's his best bet. I mean, I really want to follow, but I'm not going to because every time I follow, it loses this year. Like it's crazy. Like, so I'm gonna let you and Chase hopefully enjoy, some early morning success, and I'm gonna stay away. I'm gonna run away. Yeah, no opinion. It was not a game that caught my eye at all.
Yeah, so this is one. There's actually 2 of the games that I bet already. This was one of the spots that caught my eye early in the week. It was just like it was a clear sign to me. Like I knew I was going to be on BC basically Monday when I looked at it. I don't think the difference from the -1 to -2 really plays a part here. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass, but yeah, I expect BC to roll here. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. Yeah, I fully expect BC to roll here. So, but yeah, we don't have a lot of time here. Let's roll. Let's move on. Kmart, I know we both have games in the after. Nice. Kmart's gone. Awesome. I'll just do the show by myself. I'm gonna go.
No, I don't care.
Oh, was she naked running by?
No.
You should have left the camera on.
She just had to grab what Clara dropped off.
All right, so looking through your stuff, I see that we both. Matter of fact, 2 of the 3. Shit, I just realized I'm on all 3 of your games.
Yeah, I know. It's terrifying. It's either going to be a great, like you said, we're going to have a day, or I'm going to be like one of those liberals. Apparently, the day after the election, 2,038 suicides.
Wild. Yeah, it's either going to be a day that we never want to talk about again, or a day we celebrate. But yeah, let's get into the early afternoon stuff. I think it's 12:30 Pacific Standard Time, 3:30 our time. Let's talk about a game that you bet early in the week. You grabbed Kansas at +3 before the move. Why don't you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we were all on Iowa State when they played Iowa back in September. I mean, we just saw Iowa last night lose to UCLA, who knows? They might actually be decent. They did have a gauntlet of a 4-game stretch earlier in the year. But it just kind of comes down to Iowa State obviously lost last week. I would have liked this a little bit more had they not. But it's still one of those games where, you first see it, Iowa State, Kansas +3, and you're just like, wait a second, 2-6 for 7-1. And obviously Kansas, like, in my opinion, way better than 2-6. Like, they've probably lost, Joey, I don't know, 3 games in the fourth quarter. I think I've been on 2 of them. where they've been.
I've also been on
I
a
think
few of them.
against West Virginia, they were up 10 with 6 minutes to play and lose the game. And there's week 4, same thing. Week after, I think, same thing. Like it's just one of those things where they're kind of like Kyle Shanahan and hell for college football. What's his face? Lincoln Riley. Just can't hold on to a fucking lead. So way better. At home +3. Love the fact it came down to 2.5 because everybody's on Iowa State. So I love seeing that line movement come back down.
Well, not everyone. I am also on Kansas with you here.
You know what I mean? Everyone who's not important is on
facts.
Iowa State.
I played Kansas at +2.5 late last night. It is a 2-unit play for me in the afternoon window. Jay Buff likes Kansas too. What's up, Buff? Let's talk a little bit about this Kansas team. This is a Kansas team that's 2-6 overall. Both of their wins did come at home. I do like that. They do host Iowa State in their building today. Kansas coming off a pretty impressive game last week where, they lost to Kansas State by 2. Probably could have won that game, should have won that game. Kansas State had no business pulling that out, in my opinion. But here's a Kansas team that comes back home to play ranked Iowa State, who lost at home last week to Texas Tech. And I want to talk a little bit. This is an Iowa State team that I'm not really impressed with. I don't care that they're 7-1. I think this team is fugazi. I don't think they're very good. Haven't been impressed with much of what they have done this season. I want to talk a little bit about their last 3 games in the last 4 weeks, where last week we saw them lose outright to Texas Tech. The week before that, they snuck by a mediocre UCF team who we've seen could pile on the scoreboard. We've seen weeks where they struggle to score. We've seen weeks where UCF stuffs the run, weeks where they can't stop it. So I don't really know what to make of the UCF team, but I'm not too high on them. Iowa State sneaks by them 38-35. And then a week before, right before their bye week, Iowa State beats West Virginia in a very misleading box score. We're beating them by, I think, 12 points. I think it was 36-28 or something like that, or 38-20, whatever. It wasn't very big. They beat them by 10 or 12 points in a game where Iowa State was not very impressive to a West Virginia team who we both know fucking suck. This is as much of a play against Iowa State for me as it is a play on Kansas +2.5. Just if there's a game on the Kansas schedule left that I think they could win, I think it's today at home versus Iowa State.
Bang it.
Yeah. So, all right, well, let's go to our other afternoon game, which I also which I also have locked in as my third bet of the day. So no coincidence. Everyone here knows, been high on this Ole Miss team since March. Said that I was going to be. I fully expected their defense to really be the forefront of this team. This defense has been amazing. I gave out Ole Miss over 9.5 wins earlier in preseason. Also gave them out to win the national championship. And that all comes down to today. This Ole Miss team at home in the sit versus Georgia. Ole Miss catching 2.5, 2 +115, wherever you look at it. I played them +2 for 2 units. It is a add-on to my season win total. They win this game today versus Georgia. They have to beat Florida and then their rivalry game at home versus Mississippi State to cash this ticket. If we lose today, we are dead. No shot at the playoff. We lose our over 9.5 ticket. And the dream's dead. But I fully expect this Ole Miss team to win today. Lane Kiffin has this offense firing. I know Trey Harris is questionable. He's probably our best wide receiver. But I don't think it matters much. I watched this Georgia team live in Texas play their best game of the season, and I don't think we get that today. What Texas didn't do well in that game is what I fully expect Ole Miss to feast on today. Texas created zero pressure on Ewers in Texas a few weeks ago when I was at the game. Zero. Carson Beck was able to sit back, slice him and dice him. I don't even think he was sacked in that game.
After his first 2 picks, he was able to slice and dice them. But
Correct.
Early on, Beck looked like
but Texas created no pressure. One of those picks Beck threw was tipped, whatever. But oh my God, hey baby. So listen, let me get to some stuff I really want. I was actually excited to talk about with Ole Miss here. Ole Miss's defensive line, 34.7% pressure rate on QBs, number 3 in the country. 11% sack rate on dropbacks, number 2 in the country. Their offense, 565 total yards, number 1 in the country. 376 passing yards, number 1 in the country. 180 rushing yards in the top 30. 43 points per game, 4th in the country. And a stat that I love this, 44% conversion rate on 3rd down. This is an Ole Miss team that I expect to be able to move the ball up and down the field. I expect this defense to create the pressure on Beck that this Georgia offense hasn't seen much of this year. I fully expect Ole Miss to roll here in this spot. I think we're live going into next week for our season total. I think Ole Miss makes the playoff. I still think this is a team that's dangerous. And I think Jackson Dart proves that he's a fucking winner after getting blown out by Georgia last year, 52-17. Ole Miss to the bank, 2 units. Let's get it. Kmart, why do you like him?
Is there anything left?
Did I steal it?
No, I mean, honestly, I was literally going to say, apart from that Texas game, I mean, Georgia's not Georgia. Like, they haven't looked like Georgia all year. They got up, but the first quarter in that Texas game, Beck looked like shit. I was already just like, oh, this is an L. This is not good. My buddies are gonna jump off of Texas Stadium. Like this day's gonna suck. I don't understand how Beck is like, I don't know, a top 5 prospect in the NFL draft. Like
Jesus, he's not even a top 30 prospect in the NFL draft.
He's not even Mr. Irrelevant when you compare him to Brock Purdy. Like, I don't see it. But yeah, like love Ole Miss's defense. I think they're gonna absolutely annihilate them. Jackson Dart, obviously been a fan of his since his days at SC. Was sad to see him go for the finger painter, but it is what it is. Ole Miss, had that 2-game stretch where, they weren't looking good, but, they've looked right. And I agree. They know this is the national championship game for them. If they don't win this game, they're not going to the playoff. Their season is lost. So we're going to get the best version of Ole Miss today. And earlier in the week, I swear I saw this line go to +1. Swear I did.
Definitely plus 1.5. A lot of places now.
Definitely 1.5 on DraftKings. I swear I saw it at 1, but I can't remember. But yeah,
full transparency here. This Ole Miss game, when me and CT Bets and Duke, when we all picked to go to Georgia, Texas, we picked that game back in like April or May. Ole Miss, Georgia this week was our first choice game to go to.
Oh, I remember.
And we
actually, like, when you originally said this, I was like, possibly. And then when you said UT, I was like, I don't fucking care to go there.
Dude, we tried 5 months before this game today. We couldn't find a hotel within 40 miles of the fucking stadium. It was sold out already. There was like one rat infested fucking roach motel that was like $90 a night. And I just refused to stay in it. But that wasn't even close. But yeah, this was our first game that we chose to go to, and we ended up settling on Georgia, Texas, which I was thrilled with, anyways. But yeah, so should have been in the stadium today in the set, bringing the boys home.
Oh yeah, let's go.
So
you got anything else?
So let's see. I know we're both going to talk about your late night play. Let's go to the 7:30 window. I got some buddies at College Game Day today on a bachelor party at Bama at LSU. I gave them my opinion on that game earlier. Might as well talk about it a little bit here because it is something I will probably be adding to my card later. But as of right now, it's BC, Kansas, and Ole Miss only that I've put in. But Bama money line will probably be something that I add later for a couple reasons. I think Milroe's able to feast on this defense. All I've been hearing all week is how LSU at home at night, fucking 174-0, whatever the fuck it is. I don't care. Kelly sucks. Noose Meyer, I don't think he's whatever the fuck his name is. I don't think he's that good. This LSU team had no right winning that game versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss lost that game. LSU did not win that game. Bama, another reason. And like this might be the craziest handicap ever, but I don't see a scenario where the first year of the college football playoff system, you do not have Alabama in it. You lose this game today, you do not sniff the college football playoff. So I'm not going to lay the 2.5 or the 3. If I do come in on this game later, I will come in on Bama money line. But you guys know I hate laying juice. But might be one of the few rare times throughout the year when I do. So, Kmart,
you love playing games money line. You just never post them.
Yeah, only the big boys. Only the big boys.
Yeah, I'll always be like, I just won, blah blah blah. I'm like, thanks for telling us after it hit, and you're just like usually it's a degenerate bet, but normally I lean Bama too.
In full transparency, CT Bets normally talks me into doing some bullshit with them when we're fucking hammered.
We all have friends like that. It's good. And usually when he talks you into that shit, you guys win. So
it does work out.
You can't really complain.
Yeah.
That's why I say let me know before the game starts.
Fair enough. Where are you looking here? Are you looking to get involved in this game?
It would only be Bama. Yeah, like it probably just depends on how well we do at those, the 12:30 games Pacific time. If we hit both of those, I'll probably be looking to do the same thing. Probably money line because I could easily see it being a field goal game at the end, or even 2
down 20-18 and Bama kicks a field goal to win it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I ain't gonna mess with that. So yeah, for me it's Bama or no play, and I get it. Like Death Valley, tough place to play, but I don't know. Like there's so much parity in college football this year, which is wonderful. So I think everybody just gets, oh, Bama's not Bama. Oh, LSU's really good. LSU's not that good. Like they're good, but they're not that good.
Well, all right. Well,
I agree. Kelly sucks.
Let's get into. Yeah, Kelly does suck for sure. I don't even think he's a great coach, to be honest with you. Let's get into the night game, which will be the last game we talk about, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. 2 teams that have gotten, talked about quite a bit this year. Probably the biggest surprise in college football, Brigham Young, BYU. And another team, Utah, who there's been lots of talk earlier in the year, the quarterback controversy, Rising hurt, winning. I think Kyle Whittingham has this team rolling right now. Chase is on BYU minus 3.5. A team that has absolutely fucking burned me every time I have played against them this year. But Kmart, why don't you talk about your third play and why you played Utah +4?
Yeah, so I mean, this was probably the first game I noticed on. I don't know. I usually this Sunday Night Football is wrapping, kind of take a quick look. And I immediately was like, oh, shit, look at this. So I snagged +4.
You actually text
Monday.
in the Fade You group Sunday night. When are we hammering Utah? That was Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, took them at +4, still like them at 3.5, 3. I don't really care. I like them at money line. Like, Kyle Whittingham is probably one of the most underrated and best quarterbacks in all of college football.
Coaches.
Their team, like, obviously, I think people are like, oh, Cam Rising, blah, blah, blah. Like, their biggest issue this year has been, in years past, they've been so dominant on both sides of the ball. Like, their line, that's why they have just absolutely beaten the shit out of anybody who's coming their way. Again, it's one of those things where BYU, they're 8-0, right? They didn't have a slip up. They're undefeated. Yeah. So, we've picked against them at least 2 times, if not 3. And in all these games, like they seem like the fortunate team this year who just gets those. And I know at a certain point you have to tip your hat and be like, okay, they're creating havoc, but still, it's like they've been fortunate, on the lucky scale, getting timely turnovers, things going their way where, it could even, I think that UCF game where UCF started coming back, then right before the half, they have a 70-yard touchdown. So, just these things that just tilt the game in their favor and just really make them, if you just hit the score, game wasn't even close. But like if you watched it, look at the box score, like you realize these games, aren't the blowouts, that they really are. And that's where Whittingham, like to me, it's a bet on coach versus coach. I'm going to take Kyle over. I can't remember their coach's name. It's a great season they're having, but Utah money line tonight, baby.
So this was game number 5 for me, with Bama money line potentially being game 4. If I do play this game tonight, which there's a strong possibility I do, it's Utah. The one thing keeping me off from as of right now, because we did talk about this last Sunday and we both agreed that we were going to be on Utah here. But the more I dive into it, man, Utah goes to Colorado next week and still has Iowa State at home the following week. This is a tough couple weeks coming up, man, for this Utah team. I don't know how that shakes things out. It does concern me a little bit here. What I do think we have to our advantage here is I don't think Colorado is all that good. And I certainly don't think Iowa State is either, but they both
I
have.
don't think they're looking ahead, at these teams.
Well, I mean, they both have those fancy numbers before their name, number 21 and number 17. But
they both ain't shit. Like, and they know that. Like, their coach knows that.
I agree, but like I'm looking. Let's see here. So we're looking at BYU here. It's like, man, do they really run the fucking table? But if they don't lose tonight, when do they lose? They're not losing next week at home to Kansas, I don't think. They're probably not going to lose at ASU. And they're going to be 400-point favorites at home the end of the month versus Houston. So like this BYU team runs the fucking table. They get the 4 seed in the college football playoff, which is an absolute fucking joke. BYU on a neutral versus Texas, Bama, Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee. They're huge fucking dogs. And you're gonna let them walk into the 4 spot in the first ever college football playoff, where we end up getting an Alabama Notre Dame situation, or where Notre Dame comes in all high and Bama beats them by 60 because Notre Dame had no right being in the college football playoff to begin with. Same setup here. This BYU team gets blown the fuck out by any of the big dogs. You're going to give them a 4 spot? I don't see it. I think it's got to be Utah tonight. It'll be a game time decision for me, whether or not I fire it. Full transparency, it has nothing to do with how my day goes. It's whether or not I feel the need to pull the trigger tonight or not. If I thought it was a slam dunk, I would have pulled the trigger Sunday when we talked about it. But I do agree. I think it's Utah or nothing here. And I'd say there's a very good chance it is Utah. So, but yeah, so Chase is on the other side. Just run through it real quick one more time before we hit the road here. Cheese, my best bet, BC -2, 3 units. Kansas +2.5, 2 units. Old Miss +2, 2 units. With potential later for Bama money line and Utah +3, +3.5. We will see. Keep your eyes on the timeline for those. Kmart, Utah +4 and money line. Old Miss +2 and money line, which I don't think you mentioned here, which is a split half bet for Kmart, half Old Miss +2, half money line, and Kansas +3 that he locked in early in the week.
That's just to not bet so much juice. Like, it's not
Chase,
much
best bet aligns with me. BC -2. And opposite side of the boys, BYU -3.5. Hazmat Suit, our friend who doesn't like to show up for us ever anymore, no matter what, doesn't matter, hates us, I think, likes Georgia Tech today. Asked him for his plays. That's all he sent. Who knows? Keep your eyes out. He'll post a shitty ass 6-pack or whatever the fuck he calls it. But yeah. So listen, for Fade You, Cheese, my guy Kmart, 4 idiots, which has been shrunk the last couple of weeks down to the 2 idiots. Thanks to everyone that joined on YouTube. Don't know what's up with Twitter not allowing us to share.
Elon just doesn't want us to do sports podcasting now.
Well, when he hit me up this morning, he was like, I want the guys to work for the winners today. When you post them on Twitter, it's just too easy. So we're going to make them go to YouTube to watch to cash this fucking 8-unit day we're about to have. So yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's do it. We'll see y'all. Should be good to go for next week. I don't think I have much next weekend. Kmart, you are normally around. So yeah. Catch y'all later. Let's cash some tickets today.
Let's go.